What? Like, I want that drama.
I think we're getting there as well. I think like teams like REUNITED are leading the way in terms of, you know, really not just being like decent at all maps, but finding a map and just nailing it down, right? Because you got maps like King Toro that everyone sort of plays, right? It's just like, it's just a thing. I think Fnatic on Dorado is a good example of that. I think that Dorado is really good and it's changed so much even over the last few weeks and it's still good. I think you can say Ilios for REUNITED. So, you know, there are some teams that will do that. Some teams also, though, as they're sort of new and still forming, they have to work on all maps to a certain degree of goodness, and then they can think about adding the sprinkles and the flavor and, you know, of picking up that map that maybe no one else plays. So as more maps are added, like, I expect Eichenwald to be a good example of a map that teams should be looking at very earnestly. And I was hoping to see it out from Rogue here because I have a hunch that they've definitely looked at it in detail.
I would expect so too, and that's a big benefit to Rogue if they have done prep on Eichenwald. Now, of course, if they're doing prep on Eichenwald, you wonder who they're scrimming for too, right? Because it's you can't really practice in a vacuum. You must have a scrim partner. But still, if they're putting in more time on and other teams aren't, that could be a huge boon to them going forward. But speaking of Rogue, let's take a look at their defense here. Tavik will be repping everyone's favorite, the Junkrat. Wins on Zarya, AKM on McCree, Reinforce on Reinhardt, Unco on Zenyatta, Nox on Lucio. Nothing crazy here. No triple support, triple tank. Pretty standard stuff.
Yeah, very standard for pre-patch as well. This is very much what we used to see here as well. On the attacking side, though, Kib going to be on Genji, thank God. Valley Charger on Tracer. Winghaven's going to be on the Winston, Cruz on the Lucio, Mort on the Zenyatta, and Unfix on the Zarya. So really, two teams that don't really bring anything freaky deaky into the roster here. Just fairly stock standard and solid.
Poke war is underway, and this is a really good job for United. They're getting good positioning, they're not getting poked down, but as I say, that AKM overextends too far, he's dug too deep. AKM takes him out, Unco with the fall through, Kib is down, 64 for Rogue, and Rogue going to win this first skirmish, and this can be bad here, Uber, because anytime you lose an early fight like this, you build ults for the other team, and this might be part of a snowball where Rogue takes the next two fights.
It's even worse, the fact that no one on Rogue died there as well, so you're not even staggering spawns or, you know, putting any pressure on the defenders whatsoever now, and that's really good because if everyone stays alive, that's more people that generate their ultimates and you can actually get them earlier on. I mean, AKM, the master of Deadeye, in my opinion, has that one ready to go. We got some sick ults off there towards that last land, so we're looking to see what he can create. I honestly think he's the best McCree in Europe right now, really.
All right, have you cast or cursed him, or will the Deadeye ring true? It does ring true, takes out Morte, sets up a 65 fight, Voltage having to back out, and AKM doing all sorts of work, but finds his face melted right off by Infixed. While this is going on though, Tavik, well positioned here for cleanup. This is where Junkrat can really shine towards the end of the fight, as teams aren't looking for him, just blows Cruz up right in the face with a concussive mine. And things are looking pretty good, but Voltage moving in, and this is starting the death stagger that you want as an offense.
Yeah, I mean, you get rid of the Reinhardt, you get rid of the Junkrat here as well, excuse me. You also have Winghaven diving in towards the backside and keeping you guys always sort of split apart. He's actually going to get that kill as well. He gets 2 kills, Unco and Nox both fall down. Super high value use of that ult there from Winghaven. You stagger out quite a lot. You can see there are probably, what, 4 or 5 players back in spawn, and not only do you stagger, you just walk on and take the point.
It was good, and they're going to move forward. They're going to have Graviton here for their next assault, and Unfixed right now might have the key to turning this in his favor, but you look at Wins, he also has Graviton. This might be a tale of 2 black holes heading at each other in a moment. Graviton Surge v Graviton Surge. Unfixed, though, really charged up, looking for his opportunity, and we'll see if he can find it. Moving right in, Sound Barrier is out here from the offense, and here comes the Graviton, pulls in 2. Is the follow-up going to be true? Kib is still in and around, and he hasn't even unsheathed the Dragon Blade.
No, he's waiting for something. Now he's going to use it there. So perhaps he was waiting for those first AoE ults to come out there. But Earthshatter comes in there, nicely laid down by Reinforced. Unfortunately, he's cut down just towards the end there as well. REUNITED going to push on towards this point. This is blisteringly fast timing here, ZP. Especially now if Wins can't get on towards the point properly. Bomb just put in his pocket, says, here, have this one. We'll see you next round. Lovely stuff there from REUNITED. Push forward. ZP, that first point take wasn't even supposed to be a point take. I mean, no. Winghaven was just there to stagger things out and be a pain, but he was there for so long that the rest of his team managed to get there and take it. Lovely, lovely, lovely round.
It's one of those things where defense can't relax or settle at any point, because the offense, they were able to get 1 pick off, then they got another pick off, and then before you know it, Winghaven really charged up, has a Graviton, didn't even have to use it to take that point, and yet was able to save the Graviton for a really influential cap on point B. So it's one of those situations where it's hard to see in the moment as action is unfolding, but Overwatch is very much a game where just 1 good shot or 1 errant misplay can snowball into so much more, and REUNITED, they were able to take good advantage of the picks they got and put Rogue back on their feet, and they have 5:20 remaining in their time bank with 2 points to show for it.
Dead right. I mean, how many teams get to take the fight for it and come to the second with a bunch of ults to use? Really, most of them are expended just to try and get the first point there, as it is quite hard to take. So just an absolute blessing there for Reunited to be able to push with the resources they had now. And they've really made a statement here as well. For Rogue now, it's a game of catch-up. I don't really think, you know, realistically that Rogue can have such a fortuitous little pass through this round. I mean, if they come out with something great, if they take points straight away, sure, but this is very, very hard to match a time like this. Second points aren't taken that early very often at all.
All right, so taking a look here at the defense coming out from Reunited, a defense that definitely has a lot of room for error here. Even the worst case scenario here, Uber, where they lose early on, they're not even going to be at a big time bank deficit, so all the pressure is off on this defense. Yes. It's going to be Winghaven on the Winston, Kib on the Reaper, Cruz on Lucio, Morte, Defensive Mercy, Voltage on McCree, and Unfixed. We haven't seen this too often lately, but new meta, it's going to be Defensive Pharah.
Man, Unfixed was the sickest Pharah for so long early on in the piece, right? Back when she was really strong, and he was sort of forced into more of a flex role, didn't get to play the Pharah so much, but he's incredible at it. It really is. I think like Saini and Heo are two incredible Pharahs that I always highlight here. So let's see what he can do with this Pharah now. Is a lot of damage already being put. AKM already going low.
With no McCree, he doesn't really have to worry about too much shooting him out of the ground. He has Zenorb, of course, but 2 quick kills here coming in from Reunited. They hold strong. Voltage is staying in the back, able to get the pickoffs, shoots AKM right in the head, and Reunited with an absolutely stifling first defense here on Anubis.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right? You can't tell they're playing Pharah Mercy until you see it, right? And you can't respond to it. Now, you can't kill that either if you're not running a McCree or something similar. Soldier 76 can do more against it than he could nowadays, but very, very hard with this comp to actually really threaten a Pharah.
I gotta say here, I know this is like, might be heresy, but I would almost like to see a Widowmaker here. Just there's no Reinhardt, no persistent shield tank, and a Pharah. This might be the case where a Widow switch up be good, but here comes Voltaja. Deadeye on the way, immediately bops AKM. He's had AKM's number here in this round. First pick off here to Reunite, and Voltaja backs off, deals a 3-and-force. And things looking out pretty well here, but here comes the late Dragon Blade coming right in. Tavik looking to turn this in his favor. Morte is down, but might not have the support as a lot of his team is dying all around him.
Yeah, Unfixed at least able to get Unco there as well with that barrage. You can see that Reunited have to just back up a little bit here and stay alive, but Valutaja switching over towards the McCree here as well in this particular round does get on towards Fix. So there's, you know, utility in the kit to shut down that annoying Genji here, and AKM fell earlier to a Deadeye. So now Rogue going to push back in. They know times of the essence as reinforcements are still coming, so this is a 6v4 on the point.
Soundbarrier comes in. Cruz only Soundbarrier himself. No one else got a benefit from that. I'm not so sure about that. Morte is going to have to bring them back into this fight. I feel like this is a very good opening here for Rogue. They have the poke advantage, and Morte just going to res one person. These support ults were lacking in some value here, Uber.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's because he's like, I'm going to die. I want to just stall for as long as I can, but he's dead anyway. It is goes reinforce up him towards the back. 2 Farmer Rage. Winston's getting pretty mad. But again, it's like going to be AKM to find Unfixed, and this point should be taken here as well. But credit goes to Reunited. Those first 3 pushes were very well held, but eventually the will of Rogue will prevail.
It was very well held, and it was a good initiation from Rogue there. Don't get me wrong, but I'm sort of boggled by how that went down to Cruz. Soundbarrier only hits himself.
Well, the res as well,
hits one person. If you're in that level of desperation, why not just save it for the next fight here? Because now Rogue, they have momentum where they could potentially move in and set an equally good time here in just a moment. So this is danger zone here for Reunited.
Squandered ults never give positive outcomes. There's no doubt about it now. And you can see that Rogue are knocking on the door over towards this right side and want to pressure in. Wall's going to go up here. We do have the May switch for Kib. Of all people, when our Transcendence comes in over on the point there as well. It's going to be Unco trying to keep his team alive. But you can see most of the guys from Reunited are being pushed up around the backside. It's going to be reinforced, getting told to chill out, literally. And now Tavik, though, able to spread around. Kib has to wall himself back into his own spawn and stay alive, and meanwhile there's a Graviton surge occurring.
Graviton comes in a little bit late, but they're not able to get the fall through on it. Right now, defense doing a good job of holding on. And remember, anytime an offense isn't taking this super aggressively, it's bad. The respawn's coming quickly, and here comes Kib. Shuts off Nox's angle of escape, and Nox says, I can still skate on walls. I'm getting out of here. But that's about all he can do in that situation, backing up to the rest of his team.
Yeah, and I gotta wait now. Unco's still spawning back in, so this is precious seconds. Rogue are already behind the 8 ball ZP. They're already behind in time. Now, it's not the biggest deal if they can get a good push happening now, but you don't want to be in a deficit. And with the pace that Reunited have already set here, they don't have to win right here. It's fine. They just need to stall out as long as they can. You know, they messed up those ults earlier on, but Cruz has a second chance at redemption. He's got his ult back now. Gets the Unfixed as well as just pressure on that left side. He's seen all of Rogue come from there as well, so they should be able to set up on this one. The reinforce comes in. Good little wall coming up there as well. Sound barrier for for 2 is going to be going in. Reinforce falls and Nox just gets knocked off of that big old ice wall. And REUNITED really don't have to exert themselves too much to hold here. They keep all these ultimates in hand, and that is bad news for Rogue.
So it comes back to this idea there are productive wipes and unproductive wipes. Productive wipe there is if Rogue goes in, they all die, but they force out 3-4 ults. That's good. That's progress. That is completely okay. What just happened there? That's not okay. They went in, they barely forced out anything. Unfixed and Kib are still ready to just ruin their day, and let's talk about Unfixed right now. He's in a great Reaper positioning here. If they don't know where he is, he can go right to this Rogue backline and end this next attempt right here, right now. He's creeping, Uber. God. He's going in over the top. He's setting them up. Doesn't go in.
No, it's good.
This is classic Unfixed. He just waits. Voltage goes in, though, takes out AKM to start things out.
Happy with that. The Transcendence came in, though.
Yeah.
We can work around this one now as the fight continues. Sound Barrier comes in there as well. Unfixed trying to spread that one down. Death Blossom doesn't really get him much at all.
No, not much at all, and that's going to go the wayside here. Voltage waiting. Winghaven able to get the kill, and REUNITED is still brawling this back in their favor. Again, remember that their respawns come in much quicker here, so this is okay. However, the offense is... Oh my goodness, they can't punch in the face. May's gonna stall out here for long enough for the respawns to get in here, Uber.
Yeah, that's right. Wynn's copying a couple ice spikes there as well, but he's having to back away now. And that's right. The thing about this point is you spawn so close to it that attacking teams, it's not enough just to kill 1 or 2 people and come back in and fight again. You've got to wipe them off the face of the map, and that is a hard thing to do. And these ults, look at them. REUNITED still has 3 to be working with now. They are maintaining an ult advantage here from Rogue, who are not pressuring these ultimates out. These defensive ultimates are not needing to be used willy-nilly by REUNITED because they're not feeling threatened enough.
No, they're not, and here's the key thing. They're 2 support ults, too. Those are some of the hardest to break in the game, some of those powerful. They're going to be able to open with Sound Barrier here, and Voltage once more finding a Deadeye pickup. He's been doing this all game long. 4 kills here from REUNITED, and Rogue almost looks lost right now. This has been rough. I feel like they've had multiple pushes here where they just have not really forced REUNITED to burn their resources, and that's the worst case scenario.
It's tricky though. It's a transaction. It's like, how many resources can we burn to make the enemy team burn, right? So, you know, as a defensive, there comes a point where you're like, okay, I have to pop this Transcendence, I have to pop this Sound Barrier, but Rogue just haven't pressured that enough. I don't know if it's not enough ults being used or what, but now Transcendence comes in over towards the side and Reinforce looking for Winghaven. He's caught between a rock and a hard place and another Reinhardt, which is never a good thing. Kib cheekily is going to lob over the Blizzard on towards the side. This is perfectly set up here as well. AKM, Unco, Wins all caught together, all frozen up. Wins will stay alive for a little bit longer. The Discord Orb, though, is on him. That's going to be threatening him pretty badly, and REUNITED turned that one around perfectly. Kib from downtown with that Blizzard, that was sick.
So let's just put aside the time bank here for a moment. REUNITED clearly has an enormous advantage, even if they lose the next fight.
Sure.
The problem is that the next fight is what is going to determine this game. There's no more mulligans here for Rogue. If Rogue is not able to win on this next push, that's it. They're down a map. And this is hardly what they wanted going in. And we'll see if Tavik is able to land a good Death Blossom. But I'll tell you what, you look at Unfixed. Unfixed is ready to drop down and go once more.
And there's one ult, just Tvik. He's the only guy, and that's got to be a reactive ult if you're attacking now into this one. You've got to save it for the right time. Tvik going to try and go forward there as well, but very, very quickly. Nice form. Then he lets the Blizzard go. Then Wins is going to get caught up. Reinforced charges on out of that one there as well, but it's all about REUNITED right now. Kib going to take down Nox, and that is going to close the book on this one for Rogue. There's not much they can do. They keep Tvik alive a little bit longer. They put him in a shoebox, poke some holes in the top, put some leaves in there for him, just to stagger him out a little bit longer.
And here's the thing, maybe they can trigger overtime here, but they're gonna have to run really quickly. May might be able to just ice wall them out of it to start with. 15 seconds gonna be awfully close. They have to give all precepts of positioning, and this is where Unfixed can shine. If it's not Oval already, Unfixed is gonna drop right to the backline, Uber. This could be epic. He's waiting, will he go in? Speed boost right in, here comes the Q from Unfixed, takes advantage, a triple kill, and that is how you end a game in style.
Just get wrecked, Rogue. There's nothing they could do about that one. By that point as well, they had no margin of error. You can't just stand around and look and be an observer in that situation. You have to fight. Unfixed, look, Nox jumped past Unfixed. Nox was up around that right side. He just didn't see him there as well. Absolutely cut down. And there it is. It is going to be 2-1, and that's a far quicker conclusion to a 2 capture point map that we're used to seeing.
It's one of those things where teams have been finding it harder and harder to get in on the very last point, and we'll see if that maintains being a thing going forward. But it was good defense from REUNITED, and Rogue I mean, you look at why Rogue had troubles. A lot of it just came down to the fact that Rogue had too many wipes where they didn't force Reunited to spend resources. It was great on Reunited to have that self-control, but for Rogue, you need to at least be positioned in such a way and engaging in such a way that Reunited feels pressure and goes, okay, we need to burn 2 ults or we're going to lose. They never were able really to do that. And Reunited, their ult economy game was just far superior on Anubis.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And like I said, it's reasonable to expect that after a point, you will force some of those defensive ults out because the defenders kind of have to do that. You can't afford to really die and have to spawn back in and throw yourself into a stall scenario straight away. So ostensibly, you should be able to burn these defensive ults. The problem is that there were never more than 2-3 ults available for Rogue at any one time. It seems as if Reunited were utterly unperturbed by the use of, you know, some of these ults coming in. So not efficient use, I think, for Rogue is a bit of an issue there. I think Reinforce had some really good moments, though, there as well. Should have won that Reinhardt, but couldn't do it himself. Like Kib lobbing in that Blizzard there at 12, I think it was like the second last fight. He lobbed it across the point over towards the left side in the tunnel. And there were 4 people standing right there. Like, you can't, that was just beautiful setup by him there as well. Usually Unfixed actually plays mate for Reunited if it's ever required, but Kib, just stunning from him.
Well, the thing is, too, about the Mei ult is that it was recently buffed. It has a much bigger radius. It's one of those things where anytime they say, oh, it's from 8 to 10, but you're talking about an AoE, it might as well just be a ridiculous amount. I think a real percentage of that might be over 30%. It's something really silly. So when Mei can land the ult perfectly every time, it doesn't have to worry about barriers and can move it in, she can really control a lot more of the battlefield than she did before, but we do know the next map. It's going to be Watchpoint Gibraltar, and this is where Rogue is hoping to turn things in their favor. And actually, you think back to Rogue's history way back when, sure, they were supposed to have a good advantage on Temple Anubis, but they also really liked Gibraltar at times, where they ran to Vic on Hanzo, where not other or a lot of other teams did not run it. Now, a lot of teams are running it here today. We'll see if it works out for them here.
And even prior to that as well, this was a really strong map where Vic was playing Soldier 76. We're talking pre-adjustment, like before he sort of got nerfed into the dust. Rogue had a very, very strong hold on the top of the shuttle. Now, many teams were able to get up there, but often Rogue could even just leave Vic up on top on his own, and he could fend for himself and just continue to do damage. We've seen some ferocious examples of Twig being very hard to deal with there. So, I don't know. I don't think Rogue liked this map, Paul. Half of that's because I can see them posting it in Pro Talk as well. But this is not exactly going the way that they would have liked here.
That's a secret caster. You can't tell people about the secret caster tech where you just look at Pro Talk and you get to see them complaining in the middle of it.
I love it.
But it is true. We go to that all the time and just like, oh, this is what they're really thinking because they're complaining about it openly. Man.
I like to spice it up a little bit there as well. So people want to know who the man is behind the Reinhardt shield, and I'm more than happy to show you guys. So we already talked about, you know, we have him being somewhat vertically challenged. We can talk about Reinforce not being too happy with it.
He's vertically challenged the other way, man. I can't even imagine his life when he gets on a plane. Like, if he's ever in economy, rip him, dude. He's 6'7". I felt like less of a man next to Reinforce. I looked as like, crap. Like, he's so much taller than me.
And like Fish Sticks and Jason Captain are all really tall as well. Yeah. Like, I am taller than average height. Man, I was looking up at these guys. I'm like, come on, man, this is not good for my ego. Like, 3 of these tall dudes just sat there like, welp.
All the Overwatch casters are tall, pretty much. Like, just about every. I think of maybe like one notable exception. That's. I wasn't going to say. I was just gonna be like, yeah, there's maybe one person, but other than that, everyone is super tall. It's actually insane.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if there's any connection we can draw there as well. Maybe all the good Overwatch casters are short. I'm not sure, but that's just the way it goes, I guess. You know, we spent so much time sitting in our chairs that our legs just grew. They just grew and grew. I don't know.
And then you get on an airplane, it's terrible. Although, actually, my flight back that I had there, I actually staked out an entire economy row. Apparently, London Heathrow to Minnesota is not a popular flight. Can't imagine why, but I got to like just go the entire flight laying down in economy.
Oh man, that's the dream. I'm used to Dubai to Frankfurt on my way back home from Australia, and it is the most packed flight. It's like all the guys that go around the world every week commuting, and babies and everything is just nuts. So I envy you greatly. I really do.
I feel like you take that as like there's a lot of business babies on there. I mean, they say people get into the workforce earlier and earlier, but man. Either way, we are here in Gibraltar. The teams are rolling out. Is going to be reunited on the defense once more. Unfixed on the Junkrat. Morte on Zenyatta. Voltage on McCree. Crew's going to be in Lucio. Winghaven on Winston and Kib rounding out here on Reapers. So nothing too crazy here. Pretty standard. Although it is nice seeing Junkrat even on Gibraltar.
Yeah, I mean, how this works, I'm super interested to see. Of course, Junkrat just benefits greatly from having like height advantage, right? Because it obviously keeps him a lot safer there. Often the problem for Junkrat is that if you can close the gap to him, you can sort of dispatch him fairly easily. So we actually saw that used fairly well by Tvik, obviously over on that last map on the first sort of stage there when he was really getting rolling. He was able to use the platform. Some damage here as well, but compositionally here for Rogue, if the team comes forward like this one, which I expected to, AKM on McCree, Tvik on towards Genji, this is pretty standard. Wins, not Zarya this time, man is going to be on the Winston. So again, looking to try and, it's going to be a two-man dive combo, no D.Va here, so not quite as punchy, but still very effective at picking up those single targets.
D.Va's so interesting to me because when she first got buffed, people are running her all the time. I just feel like she's gone back to where she was before, where people got over the novelty, figured out how to deal with her. Could have to do with a lot of Zarya, but either way, no D.Va in play here. Both teams trading up poke to start things out, and this is standard. The defense, they're going to hold back. Almost Crossfire-esque, not fully committing to the server room.
Yeah, but already...
And they're just going to make...
A little bit of aggression, though. You can see that they're not wanting to let this payload advance too far. I was quite surprised to actually see REUNITED actually peek out of the server room there, but Wins gets caught in a bit of a trap there, and he's going to be taken down pretty darn easily. Unfixed. Man, he's such a beast at flexing. I liken him to Crew, actually, and his dominance over such an array of different heroes there. And same with Tvik, but very nice hold so far for REUNITED. It's working out like a charm.
And that's exactly what we want to see here. And again, it builds up ultimates. Look at the next fight. Voltage is going to have Deadeye. Unfixed going to have a Riptire. And Riptire is one of those things where I feel like it gets underrated. At times people go, oh, you can deal with it. But there's so many times in comp where if a Junkrat is smart and just holds back, you can get one person at the very least, if not two. And if you do that, probably won the fight. But here comes the offense. They are rolling in here once more. And they're going into the server room as AKM gets the first pick.
Yeah, Unfixed falls now there as well. And this is looking pretty good for Rogue. At least a good start. They have a strong position to sally forth from at least and get this payload right up towards that little launch pad there as well. Wins already up and disrupting in the backlines. This has actually forced a couple players away, so they should have fairly safe progress here forward. It's only going to be Kib and Winghaven standing up on this payload here. It's just not enough there. Unco and Wins will get this across the line, and now the first checkpoint, yes, the first, not the second, has been reached. We're up to 4 minutes 40.
Rogue saying a pretty good time here. They do have REUNITED on the ropes. And look at the ultimate advantage coming up here. They have all the ults in the world, but so is REUNITED. It's going to be a full-on ult showdown here in just a moment. And this right now, when people look at breakpoints for a game, this upcoming fight, this is a big breakpoint for the game. If both teams blow ults and one team comes out ahead, that team is going to get a huge time benefit. And here we go. Voltage is starting out the Deadeye. Skull's coming up, does not connect, and here comes Rogue.
Yeah, actually, Winghaven went very, very early into the backline there as well to manage to get out alive there. Sound Barrier helping him out a lot. Now he's going to go forward, looking for Unco. Not quite able to get him at this stage. Forced to use Palmer Rage and just pin him up against the wall and use him as a speedball. Still doesn't get Unco, who stays alive and picks up Voltage while he's getting jumped on there as well. Stunning stuff from that man. Really, really nice, but unfortunately, had to be a comeback in here for Rogue. Unco did good work, but forced back away. They actually willingly gave ground there to come back in, but AKM Tvik can catch some of these stragglers as they try and back away. Mort, yes, he's a bit too slow on the uptake. Missed the memo when he falls.
That was a huge, huge fight for REUNITED. The fact that they won that, the fact that both teams used ults, and here comes Kib. He's set up, gonna go for the Death Blossom, comes in over the top, goes right in. Winston Shield stopping the worst of it, did a lot of damage nonetheless. And we'll see if REUNITED can clean up the rest. Here comes Voltage in the back, is looking for that cleanup, has AKM dead to right, gets the left clicks, and no one right now can deal with Voltage. Tvik might be trying here, going to the back line.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a Dragon Blade.
Here it comes, and Dragon Blade's out, will be enough. Takes out one, looking for more. Voltage's attention is taken, and he ends up falling as a result. And Tvik able to push it through for Rogue, and good recovery for Rogue after losing the ult showdown.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Tvik really opened that one up, though. I mean, managing to get on towards Voltage in that case, and Mort as well, two key picks. And the reality is, though, is that REUNITED never really got to establish really strong shuttle control. They were still bleeding back into the hangar as that fight sort of started. So they kind of just had to make do, some makeshift positioning there to defend from. And yeah, I mean, once Dragon Blade comes in and you've got isolated targets, it's done and dusted.
Deadeye coming out here from Voltage again, just gonna zone out. But anytime you zone out Deadeye here and don't get anything, it's a much bigger cost than last patch, where you don't get to say hi, noon, just kidding. You lose the 50%, or well, full 100%, that's it. But here comes Kib, able to take out the first pick here. AKM is dead, Transcendent's not able to save him, and the defense should be able to roll it back around. Vol is dead,
yeah,
but it's 5v5.
Sorry, Unfix managed to just stay alive at the back of the fight there as well. He stayed away for so long, and now with the Earth Shatter coming down, it's a super good progress here for Rogue. They can push forward off that.
Yeah, it was a really good Earth Shatter to set things up. They're moving forward, reinforce, threading the needle, and now you take a look at the offense. The defense, it's going to be death chanting here. Crew's going to have to do a panic sound barrier and hope for the best as the payload getting awfully close to its final destination. Zoomyata is out. The last gas for Reunited is here, and here comes Kib. Desperation Dragon Blade moving to the back. Earth Shatter knocks down 3. What an Earth Shatter! The setup, Kib coming in from Winghaven, and Uber. Reunited is not dead yet.
I mean, normally Kib doesn't need help to go and get those massive Dragon Blade kills, but there was just a beautiful, beautiful setup now. You can see sheepishly, very sheepishly, Wins is having to back away from this fight, holding it at the death. They had to run on there, like you said, with the Zoomyata, but when you get the ults coming up at the times that they did, and you've got Kib with Dragon Blade, anything's possible.
Anything is possible, and we will see what is just possible coming in here from Rogue in a moment. They do have Transcendence here out. They're going to open with it, and they're rushing right down with this. They rightly feel they have advantage of it. Unfixed has the Death Blossom. His team is down 2. See if he goes in here in just a moment. Doesn't have speed boost to help him out quite as much. I think that's why Reapers have been having issues at times here. When you go moving in, Tavik able to take him out right away. And the Death Blossom not getting what he's looking for is Rogue, now applying the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, they're on the cusp here as well. Kib and Valitaja died at the start of that fight, so now they're able to reinforce, but they're here, and the rest of their team hasn't arrived. That's a beautiful Earth Shatter. Kib, Winghaven, Valitaja all fall, and now Unfix has to try and stall this one out. It's going to be a sound barrier just to give a little bit more longevity here to Rogue pushing forward, and now Mort comes back in. Somehow has another Transcendence. Don't even know how that's possible, but the man has been doing good work in charging up that ultimate. Now, the sound barrier has decayed away. That extra protection for Rogue no longer present. AKM trying to get a Deadeye, but Unfix is in his face. He's just going to block that one out. He's just going to kill you before you have an opportunity to do it. There's the 2-man Earth Shatter down there. Nox and Wins do fall, and there they go. They're going to fall. Unco going down as well, and it looks like just barely Reunited can hold on here.
This is the power of people respawning in quicker. They're able to get onto the fight. What gutsy effort from Reunited to stall this out. And Rogue, they're quickly running out of chances here with only 1:35 left. They have 1, maybe 2 pushes left as Reunited able to just stagger in beautifully. It shows that even if you've lost a fight, you can still delay, especially right now. And looking into the next fight, the offense isn't going to have a whole lot. They're going to need Unco to lead the way, and they're going to need to get a quick pick contribution from AKM and Tavik. But here we go. Next fight is underway. Transcendence is out. Pulse Bomb is in. Does not connect. And here comes AKM.
That's right. Over the top is Wins as well. He's trying to find on towards Kib, but it's not going to work out. Another Transcendence for Mort. Are you kidding me? Again, it's Reunited just weathering the storm here. It's almost as if they're untouchable at this stage, but now that key ult has timed out. Now Tavik's going to go on with the Dragon Blade and try and get around behind, come from a different angle, but self-destruct going off on the top side. Tavik falls down to it there as well. He's not where he should be. He's got no business being in the open when that is ticking down. AKM get another Deadeye being interrupted from the man. He can't use that one. He's going to be backed away. Nox and Wins are trying to stall this one out and keep their team coming in, but Reunited are looking unbreakable.
Oh my goodness, Unfix is the DPS spoiler there. His ult from D.Va took out Tavik, and then he went right in on AKM, defensive matrixed in his face, stopped the Deadeye for doing what he needed to do. Just phenomenal tank play from Unfixed in the latter part of that fight, and here we go. There will be one more fight. Sound Bearer's on the way. Reinforce has Earth Shatter. Reinforce, can you bring this forward for Rogue? Sound Bearer's in. Earth Shatter comes in from Reinforce. Did knock down 2. Is enough to counter Earth Shatter from Winghaven. Coming right in. Knocks down 2. But it is back and forth with Uber, but Kib with the Dragon Blade is slicing it down. 2 extra kills, and Reunited might have this hold.
Yeah, Tavik and Nox are just trying to hang alive here. There's no time left now. We're into overtime, so those two need to stay on their feet. It's not going to work, though. And there's so far to walk back here. There's not going to be any time here. Unco's trying to speed his way around a corner, but it's not going to be enough. And Reunited, what a stunning hold there at times with just one player managed to keep the payload away from the end of the map. Beautiful stuff. Just honestly, like, these guys are looking very, very good tonight.
It was ridiculous, and now all they need to do is simply complete the map. They don't have to worry about extra time bank stuff, although, again, I think it's a little bit interesting that we go in here, and now that we're ready for both teams to complete things out and go from there, teams are just barely completing, because yet today we've never had a second run on payload. And I know there's other changes that have been made to make that more of a thing, give defense better holds, but it's just interesting where stopwatches wouldn't have been needed for most of today anyways.
Oh, man. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it'd be interesting to see that. But again, draws are sort of very uncommon on these maps as it is. So even if we get to that point, it's a whole different story. Mort, what Did he have for breakfast this morning? I have no idea how he had so many transcendences there as well. And people maybe don't notice that as well. They just see the guy ult, but they don't think of what actually brought that ult along so often. The amount of damage that Moore would have had to output and healing in those last few moments would have been immense, absolutely immense. Just great stuff there as well. I mean, you know, he always impresses me, but the fact that you need to stall and you are constantly getting just what you need to stall at an enemy team for, what, 8 seconds or however long it is, it's just perfect for United, really. I have to give him the MVP in that round.
Morte had an enormous performance, and so did Unfixed. The tank play from Unfixed, particularly in that one D.Va setup, was great. You don't see D.Va as a super standard nowadays, but she does get swapped to near the end of games, and Unfixed showing why she can be a very powerful hero under the right circumstances. And it's one of those things where it's good to give props to the supports and tanks, because Overwatch by its nature, it is, the DPS players get more of the flashy plays, but you can see why Reunited is not just the Kib and Volataja show. There's way more moving parts to it than that.
Just beautiful, really. Yeah, I mean, I don't think AKM had a Deadeye after Unfixed switched towards D.Va. He just shut down every single one of them. But now we're going to have the attack Reunited coming forward now. Time to finish the job here after a perfect defense, really. They're actually going to be bringing the Ana on the defense, on the attacking side here as well. It's not triple tank, triple support, just throwing her in the mix with Kib on that Roadhog.
This is going to be exciting. And for Morte, Morte is a pretty darn good player when it comes to general FPS mechanics. He's had to be on support, but I remember playing against him in other games, and he definitely could bring it. So it's not like he's any slouch here on his support mechanics. And we'll see how things work out here. But Tavik does deep dive immediately, takes him out, but they lose reinforce in the process. And again, offenses are pretty okay with trading out. So Safe Reunite can make the most of this. Volataja, though, is under assault.
Yeah, Rogue can't afford to trade. They need to outright win this fight and win it hard now. Off towards the side, Volataja is there. He's being threatened now. He actually rolls forward into the fight. That could be a little bit risky for the man. Unfixed as well, gets discorded, but he backs away. He kills Nox, and then he goes in towards Wraith form. Tavik and Unco, though, both chiming in for kills, and that's pretty much exactly what you need to do as Rogue now. You can't afford to get trades. You need to get aggressive. Often Reinforce is being told to go in by Wins, by the way. That's why he dies half the time. Wins is like, just go, 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 and he's like, okay, I'll press shift and I'll run in. So fair enough to trade out your Reinhardt in that case, but the best part is that Rogue managed to clean that fight off reasonably squeaky clean.
You're going to be okay.
All right, you take a look here. Reunited Nano Boost is on the way. This is going to let them take the initiative on this fight. Morte waiting for the opportunity is really low. Here comes Winghaven, swing the hammer. W Mouse 1 in action, forces out the Transcendence, and he's going to send Zenyatta on such a long ride. That is one way to deal with Transcendence, takes him out of the fight, and the rest of his team just dives the back line without that Zen ult. What a great play from Winghaven.
Fantastic. Don't forget, Zen can still be affected by CC or some CC and other movement effects. You can still move the guy around the map there. Perfect charge from Ringhaven. Really, really nice. It's not a word I often sort of associate Reunited with, as good as they are, but some of this stuff is just absolutely airtight. Now Tvik has to jump on towards this payload with the shield to try and keep it going, and AKM's going to jump down from the top as well. But Cruz and Kib get towards Wins and Unco, and AKM eventually falls as well to the aforementioned Kib. Now he gets his whole hog as well. Everything he needs is in his pocket, and the first checkpoint comes off quite quickly here for the side of Reunited, and now Rogue, they're just spawning in. They can't set up on top of the shuttle here either.
Winghaven was thoroughly unimpressed with Tavik's sword at the very end. Hammer versus sword. Winghaven gonna win it. This has been a gem of a game from Winghaven, and you look at the momentum going forward here. Earth Shatter at the ready. Death Blossom at the ready. Sound Barrier about to be up. This is a pivotal moment here in the game. If Reunited wins this next fight, the odds of them beating the distance that Rogue set, very, very high, and we'll see if Unfixed can make the most of this opportunity here in just a moment.
Yeah, so Unfixed up top side. Winghaven also is on the upper ledge here as well. I'm not sure what he wants to do with this position here, except sort of fire strike his way through. Oh, okay, that. He's going to charge on in. He actually gets hit there at that stage by Winghaven, but Reinforce manages to respond well. He's still alive, and he gets to Earth Shatter. He comes down from above, and that's a pretty solid cleanup now on that fight. Unfixed over towards the side, still picks up AKM, but ultimately falls.
And that's exactly what Rogue needed there. It wasn't a fight where they were guaranteed the win at all by ults. It was a just break point of the game. They were able to hold on, and you look at Reunited going forward, they do have 2 support ults, but they're going to have run into 2 support ults from Rogue here in a moment too. So Rogue, they've gotten themselves positioning in the middle. They've reestablished flow of the game. That was a big, big play.
Absolutely. And now, this is what I mean about Rogue, where the way they set up here. Straight towards the top of the shuttle. All of them are up there, no less. So they can dictate when these fights start when they want to here. Now, Winghaven's going to jump in, but Kib falls down already. Nice little Deadeye coming out from AKM, and that's a great pick off to start this fight. Now, actually, to be fair, with AKM picking up so many more kills, there wasn't even any necessity in jumping down. They'd already pretty much gutted the side of Reunited, and we can see Tvik now on that Soldier 76 pick. With him and AKM on top of that shuttle, you have incredible medium to long range damage.
This is great here for Rogue. That was a great set from AKM. AKM, of course, great on LAN, great online. And for Reunited, they still have 2 support ults up, but so do Rogue. So all even here. We'll see what team can use it more effectively. Support ults coming in here from Reunited, going to be countered in turn. And Morte still hanging on to his Transcendence. He's holding it for a little bit longer. This could be huge if Reunited doesn't suffer losses here, but Kib does go down early on to Tavik. Tavik with attack visor, laying in the damage. 3 kills here from Rogue, and they are going to win this clash of support ults. Morte, I guess, gets to keep his Transcendence, but I don't know. This is not looking great for Reunited right now.
If I'm honest, that just looks like a fight that Reunited wanted to try and burn some ults there as well. I mean, you're all fighting on top of the shuttle, and there's a Transcendence right in the middle of you. There's no way you're going to win that fight as Reunited. At least, I mean, the silver lining for Winghaven is he went into the back lines and managed to pick up AKM with Primal Rage, but he burns an ult to do that. So we'll see now. Rogue holding very, very solid. Only a Transcendence available now. Zenyatta can't get up here. This is not a great place to start a fight here when you're lacking that key ultimate, and it's just going to be a cleanup here as well. Valley Charger desuited. Unfixed finally gets topside and stunned immediately. Reunited can't get all their pieces in position if they want to fight on the top side of this ship. Not all of their team can get there.
They flew right into the top, right into a Graviton. They had no real way of dealing with that. That was brutal because Morte, of course, as I said, he can't rush up there with you and protect you with a Transcendence. Morte's off to the side. Everyone's at Graviton. They're all going to die. And now for Reunited, things are getting grim. A minute left remaining. This might be their final push. They're going to have to take this from the bottom, use Transcendence to grid it out, and see where it goes from here. Kib about to have Dragon Blade up and at the ready. Will this be what they need? Unfix is taken out. Nox Starfix out, so they get the first pick. Kib, Dragon Blade, perhaps coming out here in a moment. Tactical Visor is out, but Tavik getting the runaround right now.
Yeah, Crew's going to fall there as well. Tavik, yep, having a bit of a tough time there as well. He eventually falls to Valley Charger there on that Diva. Don't often see the man flex in that direction, but this time it seems to be the case. Much better from Reunited. We're going to finish this one off now with the self-destruct. Shield was there. The damage won't really get carried across the line there, but AKM now standing and delivering. This situation's pretty tough, but now the sound barrier might just help a little bit more. Unfortunately, he fell just before that one went off now, and poor Nox is just going to try and stay on this point and use the extra health to stay alive. Tvik can't get involved in the fight. He's forced to jump off the top of the balconies. He's being forced away, and Nox is still alive somehow. Reinforced stays alive, and great Earth Shadow to follow it up.
What a play by Voltage again to Tavik, but Reinforce is still on the cart. Here comes AKM, clean up Deadeye on the right way. Reunited is slowly losing their presence here on the point. Rogue, they gambled with the early sound barrier, but it's working out as Reunited now against the wall. They need to stay on this payload, but they're not going to be able to do it. Overtime is fading away, and we are going to be going to a map number 3 as Rogue has taken Gibraltar right away from Reunited. I thought Reunited was going to get that towards the end, but what a gutsy defense coming out from Rogue to bring that right back.
Yeah, and when you have a chance to set up on top of that spaceship, you do have the opportunity to really put a nice solid hold together. You could see that Reunited wanted to fight them there. They really would have liked to at least knock them off or displace them somehow, but only half your team can get there. Only half your team can access it, so you head yourself into a 3v6 off the back of it, and then, you know, straight away they go in. Unco just pops his Transcendence and just lets it happen there. You know, it's not going to work for you in that way. So finally Reunited went for the bottom fight, and still it wasn't enough by that point.
I gotta say, maybe it was Reason setting the tone here tonight, but I feel like we've seen so many good tank plays in the last few series. It's been great, where, again, Overwatch sort of trends itself to, oh, look at these great DPS plays, but man, whether it be Zarya's or Reinhardt's or Roadhog's, it has been a banner day for tanks.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, they've really taken a very crucial role. It kind of helps that half our team comps are 3 tank, 3 support there as well, but just the impact, creating space is the most important thing you can do in this game. It really is. And that's why even those Mei plays we saw earlier on were very, very crucial. That's kind of what you want to see from these teams and use those tanks effectively. Teams still struggle on the attacking side to deal with, you know, full 6 players on top of the shuttle inside that second stage there as well. And you know, Reunited just didn't have the answer. But Hanamura, this is going to be a really interesting map now as well. It's the last in our pool. We're going to have to see it. The closest game of Overwatch I've ever seen was between these two on this very map there as well. Just really took each other to the very limit. So I wonder if we've seen any developments on either side of these teams since then, any new picks coming into the piece. But I know fundamentally this will be a close match and these teams will have each other's measure.
Absolutely. And again, I think anyone who goes into this saying, I think this team is going to win, and I'm sure of it, I call BS on that because I don't think anyone really knows how this is going to go down. You can make a compelling storyline for Rogue coming into this. You can make a compelling storyline for Reunited. I think the only thing we do know is that we are very likely to be treated to quite the third map here in the upper bracket finals. And again, reminder, whatever team loses here, they're not out of the tournament just yet. They will get their chance to fight their way from the lower bracket finals right back in. But certainly both of these teams would rather just be done with it right now, win Hanamura, and get a little bit of a break.
Yeah, I mean, the threat of FaZe is looming in towards the lower bracket as well, and, you know, Reason even the same as well. I mean, obviously, the reason we're such a strong team and sort of to see them sort of struggle the way they did, well, I mean, FaZe is also waiting that lower bracket, so, you know, you don't really want to go there. You'd obviously, you know, in principle, of course, you'd like to win, but you also face a lot of risk by being thrown down to the lower bracket, given what FaZe have been able to do to teams in recent times. So I wouldn't be, I wouldn't be too cocky if I were them coming into this one now. But both teams on this map know how to use Mei. Mei is no longer a thing. I kept asking Stir if Mei was a thing when we saw this map come out. We're well and truly past that point. It's no longer even a meme. It's legitimate. But interestingly enough, we may not even see her picked off the back here. It might be Hanzo. No, okay, there it is. It is Mei Fitfix. So apart from that, though, this is a fairly standard team composition we're going to see coming out for Rogue.
Yeah, nothing too crazy here. And Mei, I mean, she's just effective, especially on these 2 CP maps, whether it be last point Anubis, first point Hanamura. There's only so many places a team can go through, and when you can drop the ice wall right in front, stop a team, split a team, and maybe kill Reinhardt early on, what more can you really ask for? Especially when, at times, getting even first point defense on Hanamura can be pretty difficult. So we'll see if it works out here for Tavik, but odds are it probably will.
Yeah, I mean, all you want to do, obviously, with MA is just isolate a couple. It's just the enemy team tries to rush through the door. You bang that wall up and, you know, jump on the 1, 2, or 3 players that are sort of caught on the other side of it there as well. I mean, eventually it loses its impact, or if, you know, if teams can sort of access. But this map, you've got 2 access points, just 2 towards, you know, the first capture point there, and not everyone can access the left-hand side little window. So Mei is obviously a little bit more dangerous in this case, as she is on King's Row for a similar reason.
All right, so here we go. Offense is on the way. Reunited. They know there's a Mei there. They know that what Tavik is looking for. The wall does come in, and here comes the defense going right in, but Reunited able to deal with it. They get right through. Morte even punches Unco, and now a 65 opportunity as they move forward. Morte dies, so both teams down to Zen, but trade's always good for the offense. Winghaven moving forward. Let's see if they can get 1 or 2 more, but this is a nice approach from Reunited to start this out.
Yeah, this is really nice from Valley Charger. His positioning is very safe right now and he's able to do damage. No one's even looking at him, for God's sake. He doesn't have to go forward. Nox finally shuts him down there, and that's a good response. Reinforce even getting involved in that one. Gets on towards Kib. The guy knows how to W mouse one, no doubt about it. Coming straight into that fight. And now Unfix will be left on his own here. This is very lucky for Rogue, because that Mei did not work out at all. She only cut off the 1 player, and to be fair, Rogue traded 1-for-1 before the big fight actually started. So that could have gone either way.
The one good thing here for Rogue at the very least, as they reestablish, they have not even given up a third on the point. Tavik is going to have Blizzard up in the next fight, and this could really stall out Reunite as they run in, and they run in too aggressively, while Blizzard can end days. And here comes Reinforce, opening up with the Earth Shatter, takes out Voltages immediately, sets his team up for 2 kills, and the counter charge takes out Kib. So that is going to be another hold here from Rogue. Well played.
Insanely good. I mean, he got a little bit of healing, I think, after getting charged there as well. As a Reinhardt, you don't always want to charge the Reinhardt. Ideally, you want to get one of the squishy targets, and if you're getting a Reaper, man, you are just laughing all the way to the bank, really. Stunning stuff there as well. Reinforce, player who's not afraid to get aggressive and land those charges, and more often than not, he is hitting them. Very nice.
All right, so offense is setting up here once more. They will have Transcendence, they will have Graviton. Unfixed, though, quite a ways back. He died pretty late into that fight. It's going to take a lot of time off the clock right now. But Unfixed going to be so crucial to winning this fight. Looking for this Graviton. Will he set up his team? Moving right in, but they're going to get stuck by a Graviton instead. How is Reunited going to live? They're not! AKM! The follow through, the triple kill. Deadeye takes them out. And now for Reunited, they're down to about 2 more pushes, Uber.
Yeah, AKM did the same thing on this map as well back at LAN. Really, he's got very safe positioning. He and Unco work together, right? Those two are essentially a unit. Unco pays more attention to AKM than probably anyone else on his team and very much sticks with him. So AKM is enabled to do that kind of stuff here. Yeah, time is short. 1:30 now going. And look at this, Rogue actually wanting to start off the fight, but they don't connect that Earth Shatter. Now they're going to get stuck together, but great little ice wall actually knocks Rogue, leaks Reinforce and wins out of immediate harm's way. But now Winghaven and Valley Tide to fight back in. Now we have Transcendences on both sides of the map, but still coming forward is Reunited. They're going to be caught up on that point. Going to go for the Blizzard there as well, quickly in towards an ice form, and Nox going to bring down a bit of a sound barrier at least to keep the team team alive. AKM was really important in this fight, but cleans up too. Still, very safe positioning from AKM. He can still get kills from here, or he gets on towards Valley Charger. The man really doing some work here. Now he's going to go up against Kib, and unfortunately he falls. It will be this point going over towards Reunited there, but you can see these nuanced plays here coming out, especially AKM's positioning almost gave them a second chance, and they still be able to fight for this.
And that's the key there, is that you're not always going to get value off those situations, but every now and then, maybe once in every 30 games, AKM does swing that back in their favor. You want to keep those burst opportunities alive. Now, Rogue, they are going really far in here. I don't know about this. They're feeding a lot of ultimate to Reunited, Voltage with the cleanup, and now going to the next fight, this is going to set up Reunited very well to maybe blitz in and get point B. Not a lot of defense here for Rogue, and Rogue could be in trouble as Reunited not wasting any time getting back onto this point.
That's right. Wall comes up, but it does very, very little to stymie any sort of push coming in here from Reunited. But now the Deadeye comes in, Winghaven falls, so does Mort. Unko does at least finally go down here to Kib, but still Reunited are lacking the, I guess, the killing edge, the aggressive plays here on the point. But Unfixed gets on towards Reinforce. AKM, uncharacteristic for him to be so deep in enemy territory, manages to back out after killing Valley Charger. Very nice play from him as well, not only to stay alive, but to get his opposite number down. Tvik still playing on that main, gets 2, and Unko cleans up.
That was scary there for Rogue. Rogue really needed that to go in their favor. There was a chance there that Reunited could have gotten a quick pick and gotten their ults up and just cleaned that out. But now, Rogue has a real chance to fully reestablish here and maybe even hold on point B. Take a look at Tvik. He's ready to go for the Ice Wall into Blizzard. He has backup in Winds and Nox. Ult-wise, definitely a big advantage here to Rogue. We'll see if they can convert. Unfixed does have a key here with Graviton, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be hard as well to lock up Rogue with now how to sort of spread across the high ground. But they're giving points over. They're allowing this point to be taken. Now they've got to go. They can't let it go to 2/3. Going to bring the Graviton Surge right on in there as well. But Winghaven won't be stopped. He's going to swing. Unco gets himself 2 kills. Lovely work, and he's always the man who will feature on the scoreboard. It's more discorded up, forced to backtrack a little bit there, but there is really no way he's escaping. Good little way to stagger out a little bit longer. 3 minutes remain on the clock here for Reunited to get it done.
Reunited, at the very least, they will have a Graviton going to the next fight. They have Transcendence, which is very good here on Hanamura in particular. The problem is, of course, is that if they just Transcendence right into the point, AKM's going to go LOL Deadeye, and that's going to be it. So it's still not the greatest. Oh my good. Cruz almost got taken out there by the Zenyatta. What in the world? That would have been catastrophic. Just about every right-click shot hit in, but here comes Reunited. They're moving in and Unfixed. Do you have what it takes? Here they go, but the Ice Wall!
That's it. Nox in a good position. He knocks Winghaven off on his own. That's the perfect use of that Lucio just waiting around the corner. Obviously, Winghaven now forced to try and defend himself on the point, and of course, Reunited, who are trying to press that upper ground, lose their Reinhardt. They don't have the tank, and they back away immediately, and that was all on the back of Nox knocking him down.
It was a really good play all around there from the side Rogue. The Ice Wall also just setting that up to begin with. And now you take a look at Reunited. Time ticking away from them. 2 minutes left. About 2 good pushes left given the distance here. But there is one thing here, Uber. They've been banking ults. This has been very methodical on Reunited's part. They're about to have everything up. This is their window. This is effectively the last fight because they're going to throw everything they have into this. And if they fail, it is going to be GG the Rogue. But here comes Reunited. Gun fully loaded, moving in.
AKM Deadeye from a very strange spot. Look how he got up there. The only way he could do it was with the help of Tvik, and no one was ready for that. Perfect little spot there. You can't get up there normally as a McCree on towards this top right-hand side if you're on the defender's side. So no one looks there. Deadeye gets yourself 2 kills, immediately shuts it down, and now it's now or never. Look, Reunited have got 6 ults. If they're not going to get the point now, they're just not going to get it.
So here's the interesting thing, at least that for Reunited. They didn't use any ults, so they're going to be able to come in and have another shot at this. They died so quickly that no one was able to press Q. So everything I said before, repeat it once more. They're moving in. Unfixed looking for the time. Sound Bearer coming in to begin with. They get Earth Shattered, though, to start with. Reinforced with a great Earth Shatter to set this up. Transcendence is out. This is the last gas for Reunited. Reinforced on the charge once more. It's 1 kill thus far. Oh. But Kim, the Pulse Bomb takes out 3, set up by the Graviton, and Reunited, their ult saving is going to pay off as they should be able to cap this out now.
Yeah, I mean, they got an Earth Shatter left here as well if they were even going to need it. Not that Winghaven was actually on the point, but he would have been there. Oh my lord, and great start. See, Reinforce was the only player with an ult in that situation, and he straight away, he saw Reunited come in, he jumped down behind him, and laid the Earth Shatter, which was a very good Earth Shatter. The problem is that to get in position, he had to get away from the rest of his team somewhat, and then there was still a chance for a response in the form of a Transcendence from Reunited there. So that could have been devastating for Reunited, but they managed to get through it, and they take the point here. 40 seconds left in the bank, and no, you don't get an extension on that.
No, you absolutely do not. That is one of the changes that has come back in. No more. By the way, 2 minutes. Nope, you just get 40 seconds. So we'll see how this works here. REUNITED definitely not in the best situation, because here's the thing for them. Effectively, you think about time that's left for them here. They can't really give up point A. I mean, I guess if they give up point A, they can hope to get a quick 40-second tie. But if they want to win outright with no tiebreaker, they can't give up point A. For Rogue, they can feel pretty comfortable about this, because with 4 minutes remaining, barring a total collapse, it's pretty confident that they will get point A, and that's just a matter if they can finish out the map outright by getting point B, which, you know, a little bit more questionable. If you're a Rogue fan, you have to be loving the situation that they're in right now.
Yeah, it's genuinely good. You sort of do, on a lot of these 2CP maps, expect teams at this level to finish. So the fact that REUNITED finishes with so little time, and 40 seconds is one push, really, essentially. So Rogue have gotten most of the way here, but they still need to finish the job. I mean, I've seen teams in this position before. I think it was like Splice up against Energy were in a very bad place, and I think Energy still had 5 minutes to push through, and Splice managed to hold them on the first point, even though they had no time left themselves for 5 minutes, and win out on Temple of Anubis. So it happens.
It does happen, although I feel like it happens to NRG a little bit more than other teams. There's multiple cases where NRG has had just huge advantages and then just has not converted. I've seen it in, you know, offhand, I could probably think of like 3 or 4 different instances. One particularly heartbreaking one against C9 on Dorado, but either way, we are setting up here. This is Rogue in the driver's seat. Tavik on the Pharah, coming in over the top. Let's see what we can do here, as Rogue definitely has to be feeling good about their chances now.
Yeah, we will see May as well here from Kib. He'll be in the standard position, hoping to maybe just cut some people off there. But already, Rogue managed to close the gap. They get in, and that wall actually just isolates REUNITED from one another. It doesn't really cut Rogue off from any sort of avenues of approach. The Pharah comes in from Twick here as well, and he managed to get on towards more right at the start of the fight. A good pick off as well if you can get yourself a Zenyatta. This is blistering pace from Rogue. They're going to push forward even further now. Unfix trying to stay alive. He gets a rocket to the face, as does Valutaja. Twick gets yet another one. In that fight, he got about 4 or 5 kills, and he pretty much single-handedly has dismantled REUNITED. They're definitely not united right now.
Tavik put on a show. There's no other way of doing that. Even teabagged right as the May was getting a vice block for good measure. This is great for Rogue. And now here is the big rush going in against REUNITED here. REUNITED hardly in a good situation. All they have is really Blizzard from Kib. They're going to be at an alt disadvantage. The Blizzard, though, is going to go in. It's going to take control of the entire point. Valutaja takes out AKM, and REUNITED, they might be doing it here, Uber. They get the first 2 kills, and Rogue going to have to put away dreams of getting a quick 1-2 cap. Yeah,
really good little pickoffs there as well. Nox, strangely enough, falling off the edge. Oh, he must have just committed there as well, going off the edge. Yeah, and interesting enough here, Kib actually catches wins as he tries to back away, and he and Valutaja combine and pick him off there. So fortuitous for the defenders there to stagger that out just a little bit further, but I mean, 6 minutes 30 to take this point. I mean, you know, even if Rogue just do what REUNITED does and save ults until they've got 6, I mean, they're going to get this well and truly in the next couple minutes.
So see how this works out. But yeah, I think for Rogue, they definitely should just save up ults, do what REUNITED did here, because they have all the time in the world. They know that they're not exactly dealing with a huge amount of time bank left for REUNITED side. But Tavik, oh, what a beautiful concussive blast. Down goes Reinhardt right off the ledge. AKM taking out Kib, but Valutaja is there. Deadeye is ready, immediately punishes both Pharah and Mercy. That's one way of getting rid of the combo, and Valutaja absolutely on fire right now.
Yeah, stunning stuff from him. Cruz as well gets himself 2 kills there. See you later, lads, as they get cut down easily enough there. Great work by Unfix, by the way. He was 1v3 up the top left-hand side from the defender's perspective, and he managed to hold on as well, even managing to kill AKM, if I'm not mistaken, as Winston. So individual efforts coming in really towards the forte there. But now, 6 ults.
The prophecy is real. The 6 ults are up. Everything is on the table. Sound barrier into res, into graviton. Everything, and if REUNITED is able to defend this, it would be huge, but man, it is going to be easier said than done. Here comes Kib, though. Blizzard on the way. It's a good opening here for REUNITED as Valutaja takes out Reinforce. However, no ultimates have been used here from the side of the offense, and ultimates get used by the defense. Not the worst here for Rogue, just because they didn't blow ults after that.
Yeah, I think after losing that one player so early on there, Rogue were like, okay, boys, let's just settle a bit there. They saw the Blizzard come out. There was even an Earth Shatter used by Ringhaven. So, yeah, huge amount of ults being expended there. There's still 3 to be going on for REUNITED, but, yeah, I don't know. Not great. I mean, you got 2 defensive ults there, which obviously ostensibly are very, very strong, but you got the whole kit and caboodle coming out here from Rogue now. All they need to do is just set up properly and execute correctly.
So they're moving in, and this is where, again, they know that they have some time to sit on all these, wait for the right opportunity. Although you look at Reunited's starting to get an ult stockpile too, so this might end up in a good old-fashioned ult showdown. Kib drops the ice wall early, not going to get too much off that, and this is the signal to go. Here comes Rogue. Will they make this their opportunity? They got into a point, and ult should be getting used here soon. And Tavik, though, in the back, almost getting picked up by Voltaja. Can Voltaja end this right now? The Mercy keeping Tavik alive, and Voltaja will fall. 65 opportunity. Here comes Rogue.
That's right. Tavik up the top side there as well. Unko got caught off by the ice wall. He can't help his team. He can't heal anyone because of the wall being put in his face. Kib managed to isolate him so well, and now Unko has to get involved in the fight here. Tavik needs healing badly. He had the Discord orb ticking over onto him. Winghaven is down here, but no one really falling from Rogue quite yet, but this could be nasty. Voltaja coming with the Deadeye, gets two. He gets the Pharaoh Mercy combo, and that might just be what they need. Voltaja eventually falls to AKM now as well, and Winghaven is swinging in the lower levels.
That is exactly what they needed, and now the defense, they can stream back onto that point. This is not going to be the play right now for Rogue, and Rogue threw a lot of good ults after this fight as Kib finishes out with a double kill. Oh my goodness, and now, I don't know, for Rogue, things just got a whole lot more grim. I didn't see it in the beginning, but now I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel here for Reunited. They really could full hold this here, Uber.
They have weathered the storm in terms of ultimates there as well. Unko couldn't even res. Like, there was just no hope for him. He couldn't be in the fight for like 60% of it because of that one sick wall from Kib. And he just had to stand there and wait. Literally had to wait his turn. It's like the doctor's surgery. It was probably the most depressive experience for him. So sure, he's got a res, but a lot of those other ults were already used here. And even Unfixed looking, getting aggressive, trying to push them back now. But now this might be working against Reunited to some degree because Nox already gets on towards the point. Pulse bomb on towards Winghaven from AKM. Doesn't actually claim his life, but AKM, sound barrier ticking on most of these Rogue players. Tavik gonna knock himself forward into the fight and get it started.
What an Earth Shower, sets up two. Winghaven moving in. There's no fall through right away, but Voltaja, will he be the spoiler once more? He's had really huge moments. Winston gonna zone him out of the fight to start things out. Good zoning from Reinforce, but Reunited fighting back. Here comes Voltaja off the top rope. Deadeye coming in, and Tavik denies him the rocket to the face. Stops the Deadeye in its tracks, and Rogue not done here yet. Barrage from the top. Tavik picks up two, but you look at Morte. He's a sneaky Zenyatta in the back right now.
Yeah, he managed to pick off Tavik there as well, and a very important play. Because on his own, AKM can't do anything on that point. He can't even accrue the first third towards capture progress here. So these fights are going literally down to 1v1s. And unfortunately, as the attacking side, that's not good enough because it takes too long to reinforce your team. Whereas defending, it's just a walk around a corner and you're back on the point. They need to decisively dominate a fight. They need to go, I don't know, 6 for 3 or something like that and really be able to stand up on the point after the smoke clears.
All right, they're moving up once more. Wins getting separated from his team. Kib, the ice wall on point, wins a popsicle, falling to the ground. Lucky he didn't shatter as he is surrounded on all sides by enemies. Able to take out Unfixed though, and Rogue might be able to turn this to their advantage. They turn to bad engage right back over. Wins able to clutch it through. 2, now 3 kills here for Rogue. Is this going to be the push?
Yep, they need to stand up on this point now as well. Reinforce pushing forward. Cruz forced to jump towards the point as Anna now. Not going to work out. Kib trying to just get around the backside. Going to wall himself back in, but he's locked himself in there with Reinforce. You're not locked in here with me. I'm locked in here with you. Kib realizes that a little bit too late there, but trying to get to reinforce his point back on properly. AKM not going to be benefiting from that. That's not his transcendence, and Mort can't even provide one. He's too busy being harassed by Unfix on the outside area. It's going to be another hold for Reunited, and these guys just do not stay down.
Great Watchmen reference, honestly. That is awesome. And what is more awesome is Reunite was able to hold that fight. Things were looking really good for Rogue. It was sort of a miffed engagement to start out with. They brought it right back, but Reunited able to hold on here. And now with 48 seconds remaining, this will be the final fight of this round. If Rogue is not successful, they will find themselves dropping to the lower bracket. And here we go. It's underway.
Winghaven gets nano boosted, but he was actually knocked off before that, so he has to spend a lot of that time walking back up to the fight, but still, he's making good on it, manages to help get rid of AKM, and now Unko's on the point with that Transcendence, hopes to spread it around as much as he can. Good Earth Shatter comes in, it's going to be a reinforced core. He can't heal. There was a Biotic Grenade on him as well, so we didn't benefit at all from the Transcendence. Great idea to bring the Anna in here. Those Transcendences are shut down so easily by the Biotic Grenade. Now, Tavik has to do a lot of work. He gets 2 as well with the Death Boss, and that might be what they need here. Unko gets on towards Unfixed, and Kib forced to back away. The point's still ticking, and Rogue is standing tall. Cruz should fall in just a moment, but he puts Unko to sleep. He's going to get Fire Strike there as well. Great little pulse bomb on towards Winghaven, and Rogue, there is hope yet.
Rogue is piling in. They cannot retreat for any reason. They need the last few pickoffs right now. AKM darting around, laying in the damage as Tracer, but starting to get outnumbered. Those reinforcements are coming in quickly. Unfixed now. Primal Rage knocking people away from the point. They must be careful if they get off for any moment. Overtime will end. It has quick diminishing returns, and this is Reunited. They are fighting. They're streaming back onto the point. Winghaven swinging the hammer. Volataja in and around. Picks up the double kill, and Uber Reunited is doing it.
Yeah, there's no chance here as well. We can see the last plane being cut down, and that overtime bar is very unforgiving towards the end of the game. Fantastic stuff for Reunited, and already Reinforce has left the game. The full weight of the failure there may be just coming apparent to him now, as they are going to fall down to the lower bracket. Incredible. I don't think I've ever seen such a rock-solid hold from a team, especially being challenged by opposition like Rogue. That was just stunning. The switch towards Anna at the end as well, really enjoyed that. I actually think it really worked.
It was interesting too, because Rogue, we thought they were in a great position starting things off, but Reunited really able to bring things back in their favor. And that, of course, what else did he play of the game? A big pulse bomb set up by an even bigger Graviton. Kib showing him that he's not a one-trick Genji pony. Good Tracer play, good Mei play, and good Genji play when it is still reasonable. So Kib, great standout performance from him, and Reunited going to sit pretty as they win the upper bracket final.
That's right, so they can take a break now as well and just preside over things as they happen in the lower side of the bracket. Of course, there are still threats that are lurking there. And Rogue have a chance to come back up here as well, but it's not the finish to this game they would have wanted at all. They had so many times, they had those 6 ultimates coming back in. I just keep thinking back to Unko getting walled off from the rest of his team, and it's not a bad thing if a Mercy can't be in the fight at the start of it, right? That's not an issue. The fact is, because you can just go in and res afterwards, but it was so long that Unko had to wait there that by the time he managed to jump onto the point, no one could benefit from his healing, and half of Rogue had already died and started to respawn, so there was no value there for the resurrect whatsoever.
And I think the other thing that's really worth noting here too is that I feel like it's not just Rogue that has this problem, but a lot of other teams where you get too early pickoffs, but then I think teams, they underestimate the respawn change where they get a little bit too aggro. They think, oh, we got 2 pickoffs, just everyone dive. But then what happens if you lose 1 or 2 people right after? You end up getting overwhelmed. I think it's one of those cases where if you get the 2 early pickoffs, you need to push in together, but be a little bit more disciplined. Take out the remaining people, exercise your 6v4, and don't let the other team drip and drab back in, because if you're too sloppy when you go in to convert, what's going to happen is that you'll lose a few people, but then the drips and drabs will come in. You're not going to be able to easily 6v whatever them, and then you lose. And Rogue definitely threw some opportunities away there where they did start out really good. And of course, they'll look at the VOD, they'll look to fix things up. But for now, they're going to have to fight their way back through the lower bracket.
Yeah, and that's right.